the Ring Fanatics Podcast, episode number 42. I am Nick, your host, and I know Joel isn't here. It's just me today. It sucks. It's just me in this episode. I apologize in advance for Joel not being here. It's been a busy week for the both of us. We couldn't find time to sit down together to record this episode, but I will get this done, and starting next week, Joel will be back. Joel will be back here starting next week and forever. Still be ever. I don't know. This podcast isn't going nowhere. So Joel will be back next week until forever, basically. Just this week we couldn't find time to do it, so apologize for that. As always, as I've been saying from previous episodes, continue to subscribe to us on YouTube. Click that post notifications bell right next to the subscribe button, so you make sure that you don't miss an episode of the Ring Fanatics Podcast. It is important that you know when we start 12 p.m. every Fridays. So just click that post notifications bell right next to the subscribe button. And I do apologize for another thing. It is raining here in New York. It's been raining all week. So if you hear rain or thunder or something related to rain, if you hear something related to that, then I'm sorry. I apologize. It is raining outside. Been a raining week in New York here. So again, I'm sorry about that. I apologize. So as you can tell by the title of this episode, what a stacked month it is in the world of professional wrestling, specifically in the month of July. July is a pretty stacked month in wrestling. We started off with on Tuesday on NXT Great American Bash and last night on AEW Road Rager. And it's continuing. More wrestling is coming. Next week we have Fyter Fest Night 1, Slammiversary for Impact, Money in the Bank, Friday Night SmackDown and Raw, the first audience in over a year. We got that coming back. Then we have Fyter Fest Night 2 and Fight for the Fallen to end off July. What a month of wrestling that is. Like I said before, I will talk about NXT Great American Bash. I'll talk about AEW Road Rage. Wow, what great shows both of those shows were. Amazing. Just starting off with NXT. We had Tegan Knox returning. Finally, she returned. I've been waiting for her to return for a while. She is now 100% charged. She's 100% ready to go. Great vignettes, by the way. I did not think of her at first, I'll be honest. I know there were reports before her return that she had a match on Raw as a dark match. Well, still, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even put two and two together. I didn't even know why. I didn't know why I think of that. But I'm glad she's back. I'm glad she's 100%. Glad that she's renewing that feud with Candice LeRae. If y'all didn't know, last year when she got injured, it was due to the hands of Candice LeRae. So I'm glad they revisited that. I'm glad she came back to haunt her past. Relive that feud with Candice LeRae one more time. She finally came back. So I'm glad that happened. New tag team champions, I don't like, really. I don't like the new tag team champions. Zoe Stark and Io Shirai don't click with me as well. I don't like it. I don't know why. I might not be the only one. I know some of you don't like that team as well, but Zoe Stark and Io Shirai, I like them individually. As a team, not really. I don't like it. I don't know. I know it's too early to tell, but I didn't like it when they started it last week. I didn't like it today. This past week when they won the tag team championships. Wrong decision for that. LeRae and Indy Hartwell should have won. They should have retained it. Don't know why it's on Io Shirai and Zoe Stark. But, I don't know why they had to win those tag belts. Hopefully it will change my mind in the future. I don't know. Maybe it'll change my mind. But, I guess they have a plan for that. Obviously, Triple H is no stranger to booking things well. At least he does in the company. But, hopefully he can book it right. Hopefully he can book it well to make me more interested in it. Should have thought Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae should have retained. Didn't like those new tag team championships. Hopefully they'll do something like Kushida does, where it's open challenges every week. Maybe we get to see new tag teams. I'm thinking that one of them might turn on each other eventually. I feel like one of them is going to turn on the other, causing a Zoe Stark versus Io Shirai feud. Can really be interesting towards both individuals. It'll be different, So the tag team titles for both of them, I guess, like I said, I'm going to keep saying it for a while. I don't like them as a team. So maybe it'll change my mind in the future. Who knows? But again, hopefully they could do something where it's like a Kushida type of thing, for it's an open challenge for new tag teams to introduce new women's tag teams. I thought that would have been the case for the Women's Dusty Rhodes Cup, but I guess they didn't have much ready. There are a lot of women who are not signed to, poor choice of words, who are signed to NXT, but we haven't seen on TV yet. So maybe they'll introduce new tag teams that we haven't seen yet as a team in NXT. So maybe that'd be something different that they're going to do. Like I said, they could be doing the open challenges for Io Shirai and Zoe Stark against new tag teams. So maybe that's the plan, I guess. I'm assuming. Don't want to assume too much, but yeah. The opening match of NXT Great American Bash was amazing. MSK retained. I like how they just rolled it up. Thatcher and Ciampa pretty much dominated that entire match from start to finish. They dominated. Kind of shocked that they lost, to be honest. I was expecting them to win it. Another team that I kind of don't... They worked well together, yes. I could see why they are teaming together. But again, I'm one of those people that don't like that Thatcher and Ciampa as a group, as a team. That's a hot take, I guess. I feel like a lot of people like them. I love them. But I kind of don't feel that way because I feel like they're also another team that are going to break up soon because they did have the history in the past where they were feuding for a while. To me, I know there has been a lot of tag teams in the past that didn't work well together, and then all of a sudden just worked well together. So they could be a great tag team in the future and permanent for a while. But I have something in me that's one of them is going to turn eventually. I don't know why. But I feel like one of them is going to turn the other soon, causing them to not, be a team anymore. That's what it's always strange to me that like they were feuding and then all of a sudden now they're best friends. Like that's always confused me in wrestling. And like I said, yes, there have been teams that were, not great together and have been great in the future. But this team isn't for me. Even though they do have the chemistry together, they do work well together, and I love that. But I don't know. That's always stuck in the back of my mind. Like who's going to turn on who? Who's going to be that? When is it coming? It's always in the back of my mind. When they were specifically these two, Ciampa and Thatcher team together in a tag team match. And I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. I thought it would happen, so I'm guessing they're going to roll with it for a while. I guess that's where they're heading with it. So yeah, I'm excited for that. I love how MSK did a roll up to win the match instead of just pinning them clean. Because like I said, Ciampa and Thatcher dominated the entire match. So it's a great way to end it and retain. They couldn't beat them clean. That was the point of the match being dominated by. So I like how they just did a roll up and won the match. That's going to continue to add on to the storyline now. This story definitely isn't done. Obviously, they don't have one match together. I think these two are gonna have more. These two teams are gonna continue on feuding for a bit, and that's gonna be part of the storyline. Like MSK didn't beat Ciampa and Thatcher clean, and they're gonna keep mentioning that over and over and over again until eventually, Ciampa and Thatcher win. So I'm glad that they run through a roll up because it's gonna be it's gonna add some great story into it and how they just randomly did a roll up to win. It's going to add on to the story really, really well. And I'm glad. I hope they get one more shot at the tag titles. Hopefully, and specifically at a takeover, so that way Ciampa and Thatcher win it in front of a big stage instead of just an episode of NXT. So I'm glad this happened. I'm glad it's happened now. The main event, actually before the main event, there was not the match before it, but another match that happened. Cameron Grimes is now the personal butler to LA Knight. And a lot of people are mad about that. I'm not. I mean, I love Cameron Grimes. I'm not. This is not an episode full of hot takes. I'm not trying to do that here, but it fits well. Cameron Grimes can do anything. I mean, I love him. He's a great character. I've loved his new gimmick with the money and stuff like that. So I think this adds, and this this is also another feud that's still gonna go on for a while. I don't think this is gonna end really, really soon. This is not gonna end soon. It's gonna go on for a while. I see this feud going past this year. I think that Cameron Grimes is gonna be his butler for a while, and eventually, this is my prediction. I think Cameron Grimes is going to turn heel on somebody and join LA Knight and actually have an alliance with him. And the way I see it is that Cameron Grimes is probably going to end up, turning on somebody who is a babyface and like I said, align himself with LA Knight because LA Knight is probably paying him a lot of money, and he's appreciating the money that he's being given by LA Knight. So I think he's going to accept that and then just join LA Knight, and just be his butler for a while. Maybe he's going to be a permanent butler. Maybe, I don't know, depending on how long this lasts. He could probably be his butler for a while and then eventually turn on LA Knight, and maybe beat him for the championship, the $1 million championship. I don't know. They could do a lot with this. This is something that it's been strong since the moment them two have been feuding together, and it's going to continue like that for a while. I think LA Knight. I hate the name. I'm going to call him Eli Drake as long as I live. So Eli Drake, I'm going to call him that. His original name. I think it was the right fit to win for the $1 million championship. The right person to retain it. Even though I don't like Cameron Grimes as the butler, they could add more value to the story. And this might last for a while, like I said, so I love that. The ending, the main event, I don't want to get to the whole entire show because I have a lot to talk about with AEW as well. Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly, also a story that's outdone. I feel like that's not the final nail in the coffin. I think that Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly may last till a long, long time. This could be one of their biggest rivalries in NXT history. I think Adam Cole, the victory this past Tuesday night on Great American Bash just adds more to it. Now they're even 1-1. They might continue on feuding until one gets the upper hand, until one gets the victory over the other, and it might last like that because they both are competitive superstars. As we've seen from me personally on NXT, they both want to compete and do better than the other. That's what they are, competitive superstars, which everyone should be. So I think this might last for a long, long time and go on for a bit. This could probably be a War Games match. I know I made up a War Games match and a prediction match in one of our previous episodes, but I think one thing that could be also in War Games is Team Kyle O'Reilly versus Team Adam Cole. Adam Cole assembles 3 other guys with him. Kyle O'Reilly assembles 3 guys with him. They have a War Games match to decide who's better, who could be a better leader, who could be a better, person, like superstar all around. Will Roderick Strong be a part of this with Diamond Mine? Maybe. Maybe they can add that into the story to make it 3-on-3-on-3. Because I know the very first NXT War Games was the 3-on-3-on-3 match with Undisputed Era versus Sanity versus AOP and Strong. So they could go back to that this year. That Roderick Strong being, I guess you could say, the leader of Diamond Mine, can add a lot to this War Games and the story between the 3. The only person you're missing is Bobby Fish, which I'm pretty sure he could be in one of the teams for either Cole or Riley, or O'Reilly. So that actually is not done there yet. So great match overall. Right choice to win. Like I said, it adds more to the story that they're both even in singles matches against each other. The women's championship, I wish Raquel Gonzalez would have had a match this past Tuesday. I think she needs a great opponent to go up against her. I think she needs a great feud as NXT Women's Champion. But as a whole show of great NXT Great American Bash 2021, that was a great show. I'm trying to think of a number. I think 1 in 10. I would say 8.5. I feel they could have had. I would say 8.5. There's a very little things that the only thing I didn't like was the ending of the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Like I said before, the Way should have retained it. I love the fact that they have, Samoa Joe now the special guest referee for the next week's NXT Championship match. Hype for that. I didn't like the ending of the tag team match, and just like there's a few minor spots that I didn't agree with that night. So I would say 8.5 out of 10. AEW Road Rager. Wow. First AEW show with a full capacity crowd in over a year. And wow, they delivered heavily, as I expected. The great opening match. The strap match, right when it's called the match, Cody Rhodes. Speaking of which, Aleister Black, now Malachi Black. Love this debut. Did not expect it to happen this soon. I had a feeling he was debuting in AEW, but did not think it was happening this soon. And let me tell you this. If y'all didn't know, if y'all didn't hear the news, of Malachi the Black, formerly known as Aleister Black in WWE, is now in AEW as Malachi Black. The reason you may be thinking, how is this so soon? Did he just get released about a month ago? Yes, he did. And wasn't he supposed to have a 90-day no-compete clause? Yes. But from sources as I saw online, apparently, Aleister Black, when he got released from WWE, apparently WWE forgot to update his NXT contract, which means that in NXT, when superstars are signed to NXT and are under contract with NXT, they are signed a 30-day non-compete clause after they get released, as opposed to the main roster superstars, they have a 90-day non-compete clause. And then once a superstar gets called up to Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, their contract gets updated from a 30-day non-compete clause. I mean, obviously besides the money and everything else, but they go from a 30-day non-compete clause to a 90-day non-compete clause. And apparently, when Aleister Black got called up about a little bit over 2 years ago, WWE forgot to update that. So he still had a 30-day non-compete clause from his NXT contract. That's why he was able to join AEW this past week instead of waiting until the 90 days, which was supposed to be either the end of August or the beginning of September. So that's why he was able to join AEW this soon and do whatever he needed to do in wrestling, which is right now it's just AEW this early. So I think that was a great move, obviously. Great match. I had a feeling that, because I remember during the strap match, this random light just went off, and then nothing happened. And then it happened later on with the segment with Arn Anderson, and there was now Malachi Black. So it would have been cooler to have him debut during the match. That would have been cooler. But again, it was still cool either way. They made it work by having the segment just to throw it in there to have him debut. But I wish it would have happened during the match. That would have made it more interesting and cooler to see. MJF and Jericho, loved that stipulation. Loved how he brought the confrontation they had in the ring. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Fuck that fan that tried to get into the ring. Fuck him. He tried to attack the guys. The very first crowd back with AEW, and some stupid ass guy had to do that shit. Like, that pissed me off. That pissed me the fuck off. Like, really, come on, guy. Come on. He just ruined it. The very first crowd back, and he had to ruin it like that. But I like the MJF stipulation that he brought up when Jericho was feuding with Moxley. How Jericho did the. I could have sworn that was Cody Rhodes and MJF feud. Remember, he did that with Wardlow. The steel cage, that was one of the stipulations, but I don't remember that Jericho stipulation with Moxley. But I'm loving how MJF is making Jericho run through these hoops in order to get to him. Kind of like he did in the past with Cody Rhodes. In order for Cody Rhodes to get to MJF, he had to go through these obstacles first. Like, I remember one of them was like having to get whipped in with the belts 10 times in the back by Wardlow. He faced Wardlow in a steel cage match and other things too. And he did all of it, and he had the match with MJF. Glad he's doing it again with Jericho. I'm excited to see what these stipulations are, who he's going to go up against and stuff like that. So that's interesting. I'm loving the fact that Heyman, Adam Page, and Kenny Omega are finally going at it one-on-one. Great timing to make this match when the crowds are back in the arenas. So now we get to see genuine reactions with this feud. I love what I forgot who said it. It was either Tony Schiavone or Jim Ross, one of them, or Excalibur. One of those three said it. How, like, they didn't really say anything on the mic to each other, but one of those three commentators said, "The eyes tell the story." It does. It does tell the story. The way they were looking at each other was like, that's the story right there. They have the history. They have the history between them too. So I'm glad that they're finally having this match. Most likely going to end up being at All Out. And I hope MJF wins it. I love it. The main event, I love too. The Young Bucks tag team match against Eddie Kingston and Penta El Zero Miedo. Great ending to the first various night. It was very exciting, very entertaining. Oh man, I just thought of the tax in Eddie Kingston's mouth. Oh god, that bothers me. It hurts to talk now after seeing that. He got kicked in the face. Ugh. But great tag team match, great street fight it was. I'm trying to remember all the other matches that took place that night. Andrade El Idolo, great debut match. Love the first match. Already want to know. I'm a big fan of Andrade's ever since. I never heard of him before. I haven't heard of him before NXT, but ever since he arrived at NXT, I've been a fan of him ever since, and I wish him all the best and success in AEW. I know he's gonna kill it. Vicky Guerrero by his side, what a manager that is. No disrespect to Zelina Vega. She did a great and an amazing job with him in WWE, but Vicky Guerrero, major upgrade, in my opinion. Don't come at me. I prefer Vicky Guerrero over Zelina Vega. Great pairing between them two, and I love it going forward. I was so excited about everything that happened. I'm literally forgetting what happened in AEW, and I shouldn't be. That's a problem. But it was a great show overall. I loved every single second of it. And they delivered for a very first show, especially the first show back with fans. Ethan Page and Darby Allin, a great confrontation too, hyping up their coffin match for next week. I'm excited for that. That's going to be the match of the night next week. So I'm looking forward to that match. And wow, I remember Ethan Page's promo just really put everything into place. How they went back to the past with them being indies for a bit. So they brought up really everything that they needed to do for this match, hyping it up for next week. Weird not seeing Sting by our Darby Allin side, even though I love Sting, I love the pairing. But I think it's time for, I don't know if Sting is a manager or just teaming with Darby Allin, because he's also a wrestler too. He's wrestling in AEW now, so it's like, I don't know. I love them together, but at the same time, it was kind of weird. To me, it's kind of like the parent taking the kid to school and having the parent holding hands with the child everywhere she goes. If she's shopping and everything, that's how I think of it. It's like a parent always bringing the child everywhere she goes, even though it's not really about Sting. It's more about Darby Allin to help him out more. But I think it's about time that Sting just steps away a little bit from Darby and let Darby do his thing for a bit, instead of having Sting with him at all times. I think Darby could do it on his own. I kind of don't want Sting to interfere during this match, even though it might happen. Because if Scorpio Sky is interfering during this match next week, then so is Sting. Just a little spoiler right there that's happening. They really hyped up the match between a little bit, not so much, but the Women's Championship. That should have gotten more praise to it. I don't know why they only had one segment with it. Kind of strange. But not surprised, because they don't really care about the division that much over there. So they should have just hyped it up a little bit more, at least. The crowd was I forgot his name, the guy with the two UFC fighters that was there when Lance Archer attacked him in the ring. Great promo by that guy. I forgot his name. I don't follow UFC, so I don't know who the hell it is. I'm sorry for all the UFC fans that might come at me if you're watching this. But I've never heard of him before. Don't know his name, whatever. But that segment, even though he did a great job as a promo, it was weird that he randomly had that, and it was weird to have Lance Archer just attack him. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there with Lance Archer. I've said this before in the previous episode. What are they doing with Lance Archer? What are they doing with him? What they're just randomly having him go out there. This is my rant of the week, by the way. I know Joel isn't here. He usually does the rants, but this is my rant of the week. They're just randomly having Lance Archer. Hey, it's we have nothing to do right now. Just go out there and attack somebody. Go, do your thing. And it leads to nothing. I'm pretty sure this guy isn't going to come back at all in AEW. We're not even going to see him next week. We're not even going to see him come back at all, probably. It was just, hey, Lance Archer, look dominant. Just go out there and attack this random guy and get nothing out of it. He's done it in the past. When Moxley, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks were feuding, whatever time they had a segment at the end of the show, they would start brawling. Hey, Lance, go out there and help and do nothing and get nothing from it. Okay, bet. Does it. And again, nothing happened. Then all of a sudden, Darby Allin, Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky started attacking with Sting and all that stuff. Hey, Lance, go out there and attack them too and get nothing out of it. Okay, bet. And he got a random TNT Championship match with Miro. Then, again, what has he done since? Nothing. Just every time there's a brawl out there, just go out there, send Lance Archer out there, and just let him do his thing. I get it, he's the Murder Hawk monster. I get it, he's supposed to look big. But have it lead to something, at least. That match with Miro should not have ended there. That feud should have continued on and maybe have another championship match at All Out. I don't know why that is. I don't know why they keep doing that with him. They have no plan with Lance Archer. They're just having him go out there and do his thing and just attack at random moments and get nothing from it. I don't know if anybody else feels the same thing, but that's just so weird and annoying to me. Just do it, bro. Just have something for Lance. Start a feud with somebody. Start a feud with somebody at least. Come on, guys. Just don't. It's annoying now. Like it's clear to me that you have nothing for Lance. It's clear to me that you have nothing for Lance Archer. Just making him go out there, attack people, and then come back and then do it again next week, and then just keep doing it until you have no plans for him for more future comes. I don't know. That annoys me. Just every single time there's a brawl, send Lance Archer out there, come back, and just do nothing. Get nothing out of it. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll eventually do something again with Lance Archer, like a full-on feud, maybe against Miro. That could have been a bigger feud, but I don't know why they stopped it. Excuse my voice. I'm sorry about that. Excuse me. Voice is a little hoarse right now. But, yeah, I loved AEW Road Rage. Great show. I'm looking forward to a Fyter Fest and Money in the Bank. And I'm looking forward to the first WWE shows back with live audiences, back on the road again. And Slammiversary, let me tell you this. Slammiversary, let's talk about that real quick. Slammiversary is happening not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. I believe it's July 17th. I could be wrong. But it's happening during the weekend, the same weekend as Money in the Bank. So I'm looking forward to that. I know Sami Callihan and Kenny Omega for the Impact World Championship, the big money match for that card. Don't think Kenny Omega's doing it. I would be surprised, but I'm looking forward to some debuts. I'm looking forward to my prediction for that night is to have the Iconics now. No, I believe they're going by the Inspirations now. I believe that's their new name because I know both of them had trademarked the name the Inspirations with 2 eyes. Kind of like the Iconics name that had 2 eyes in it. It's the same thing, but I believe it's called the Inspirations. I don't know how I'm loving the name, but again, it may have changed my mind. They haven't even done anything yet in the Indies, but I know their 90-day non-compete clause is pretty much over in the middle of this month. So we may get to see a return of Chelsea Green, or you may see some new names show up at Slammiversary because a lot of the people who were released in the beginning of April after Mania from WWE, you may see some of them show up. Them two are the two people I see showing up at Slammiversary mainly because of the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Yes, you may say that I know Peyton Royce. I don't know what her new name. I think it's Jessica or something. He's married to Sean Spears over in AEW, but I feel like they might be the team to actually go for the Knockouts Tag titles. So I feel like they might go for that first, and then eventually come back to maybe do some stuff there, and then maybe go to AEW in the future. But I don't see them passing up this opportunity to maybe go to Impact and have tag team title opportunities there. The only other company right now that I know of, the major company that I know of that has women's tag team championships there. Maybe AEW can bring back that women's tag team tournament they had about last year or 2 years ago where Diamante and Evilise won. So hopefully they do something with that. I don't know, but that's the team. That's 2 people that I see debuting on Slammiversary. And Money in the Bank. Next week's episode is Money in the Bank edition episodes. I'm not going to talk too much about it right now. I'm actually not going to talk about it at all. I'm going to wait till next week to bring up stuff about that. So tune into next week's episode as well as we talk about Money in the Bank next week. Planning on bringing a guest next week. Don't know who it is yet, but stay tuned for that. But I'm excited for WWE to finally have fans back. Kind of scared right now. As I had mentioned in a previous episode, talking about the fans. If you want to go check that out, it's in the previous episode, so go check that out as well if you haven't already. It's one of our previous episodes where we talked about the return of fans. So if you want to know what we think about that, go ahead and check that out as well, and give that a like and a view. But I'm excited for WWE to finally have fans back. It's been needed for a while. And I think that it's just they needed it, man. The Thunderdome is something that is something that they needed because the Thunderdome wasn't clicking for me anymore. So yeah, I mean, it's glad they're doing it now, but I'm excited because that means more wrestling shows are opening up and more wrestling shows that I can go to. So the more, the better, and stuff like that. So I guess I'm just gonna wrap it up early. I'm not trying to go on too much of rambling, because I just want to talk about basically this episode is about recapping this week's NXT and AEW and my thoughts on upcoming events. I don't want to make this an hour long. Again, my throat is kind of hoarse today. I've been trying to record this episode for minutes now, and every time I get the chance to do so, something comes up and I couldn't do it. So I've been talking basically for a long time now. So that's why my job. I don't want to get too much into my personal life, but my job is basically a lot of talking. So my voice is kind of hoarse, so I don't want to talk too much on my own. That's why I have a co-host in Joel, and he will be back next week when we talk about Money in the Bank predictions. So stay tuned for next week's episode. And again, I'm looking forward heavily in the future of wrestling in this month of July. A lot of fun stuff happening this month. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought of AEW Road Rager and NXT Great American Bash that happened this past week. Let me know your thoughts on how excited you are as well for WWE coming back with fans. What your thoughts on the next week's Fyter Fest Night 1 card that's been released already. Let me know everything that you're thinking about this month of July. You gotta get excited for July. It's summertime in wrestling. It's July. A lot of stuff is happening. A lot of shows, a lot of pay-per-views, a lot of matches, a lot of hyped up things to get hyped for. So let me know what you guys think about this about this month of July in the comments down below. Again, my name is Nick. I'm your host of the Ring Fanatics Podcast. Give this episode a like, a thumbs up on YouTube. Give us a subscribe again if you haven't subscribed already. We're at 137 subscribers as we speak, and I'm trying to continue to grow this podcast. So if you haven't subscribed yet to the Ring Fanatics Podcast, please go ahead and do so. Hit the post notifications bell so you know whenever we post an episode. You stay tuned, you stay aware. Go do that as well. I am Nick, your host of the Ring Fanatics Podcast, and this has been episode 42 of the Ring Fanatics, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.